Good morning, my friends, and welcome back to another segment of Hanging with the Boss Lady. I am your host, the Boss Lady herself, Cheryl Jones, aka that little old country girl. How you doing this morning? I hope you're doing well. And I have to ask, how was your Valentine's Day? I hope that it was all that you wanted or needed it to be. As for me, mine was fabulous. I was really blessed by the thoughtfulness of my children and the wonderful calls and texts. If you are one of the ones that sent me a text, thank you so very much, or a phone call or a card. I loved all the gifts and I appreciate you taking out time thinking of me. So, we have a wonderful segment in store for you today, and I'm so glad to see that you are ready to take our time to spend the morning with me. So, are you ready? Fantastic. Let's go. Talking about overcoming personal challenges. And the personal challenge that I'm going to talk about today is the need to set boundaries. We all need to have boundaries. And it's so vitally important because it seems that many people today overstep the boundaries that should be very plainly in sight, or sometimes just common sense should step in and let people know that they're overstepping boundaries. However, it seems that more and more people are not using common sense. People are extremely rude. Some people are very disrespectful, and some people just really don't care, which means that we have to set boundaries for our own mental and physical health. Okay? So, we're going to talk about the need to set boundaries, what types of boundaries need to be set so that we can be our best self. Don't you know that if you don't have boundaries, that people will literally walk all over you, totally disregard your feelings, your opinions, everything about you will become insignificant in some people's eyes if you don't set and uphold the boundaries that you need to have in your life. So let's start by talking about the definition of boundary. A boundary is something that indicates or fixes a limit or extent. It serves as a dividing line or a theoretical demarcation. Boundaries can be real or imagined, and they mark the limits or edges, separating it from other things or places. Okay? Now, let's just say, for instance, if you own property, you have a line that will say your property is this, from this line to that line, however many feet, however many acres that you have. There is a dividing line, a line to say, okay, all of this over here is yours, and anything beyond this point does not belong to you. And if it is on this side of the dividing line, it is your personal property, and no one has the right to encroach upon your personal property without permission. That's a boundary. And it is very important that we know exactly where that line is so that people don't take advantage and come onto your own personal property. Okay? So that's what we're talking about, personal property. We're talking about boundaries. We're talking about that line, whether it's imagined or a physical line. We need to make sure that it is pointed out, that we place that line there, and that we enforce the respecting of that line. You're following me so far? Great. So now let me say this to you about the boundaries. When you have boundaries, it makes you have to stand up for yourself. And because we live in a time where people seem to disregard your feelings, we have to do that for our own benefit. And I'm saying this because I encounter many people who speak to me and they talk to me about the fact that they feel disrespected. They talk to me about the fact that they feel insignificant because others don't take their feelings into consideration. And I have learned that we have to stand up for ourselves. If you don't, people will roll over you. And it's important. It's important for you to know that you have rights. It's important for you to know that you don't have to allow anyone to treat you any kind of way. And there are many different areas of your life that you need to have boundaries in. You need to have boundaries in relationships. You need to have boundaries in the workplace. You need to have boundaries with your children. Okay? There are many types of boundaries you have. Okay? And I'm going to go over some of those areas in your life that you have to have boundaries in order for you, like I said, to maintain good mental and personal health. I want to ask a question. Have you ever felt invisible? Like your opinion just does not matter? Have you ever felt like no matter what type of conversation you are in with whoever you're speaking to, that every time you try to get a word in, that it's just overrun, like the person that you're speaking to considers your input in the conversation to be of no, relevance, that they just, what they're saying is more important than what you say. Okay. Now, these are examples of where you have to set the boundaries to make people know that I have a voice. I am relevant. Okay. I matter. And if I'm going to be a part of this conversation, then you are going to have to let me speak. This is also a part of the boundaries that you have to set. There's a saying that says it's a dog-eat-dog world. People will run over you if you let them. People will take advantage of you if you let them. People will use you and then throw you away if you let them. So there comes a time for your own self-preservation that you have to stand up and speak for yourself. You have to set boundaries as to how much you are going to take from any and everyone. And you say, yeah, but that doesn't apply to. Stop. It applies to everyone. Everyone. It applies to your parents. It applies to your children. It applies to your mate. It applies to your co-workers. It applies to your peers. It applies to your friends. It applies in every area of your life. There are boundaries that you have to set in place so that you will not be railroaded, so that you will not be taken advantage of, so that you will not be disrespected, so that you will not be hurt. And it's important that you understand that you have the right to set these boundaries in order for you to function at a healthy level. Now, I'm going to talk to you and I'm going to name for you 7 types of boundaries that you should be setting. Okay. Okay. Now, the first one is physical boundaries. Your physical boundary. Okay. That's like someone just moving in on your personal space. This is one of the things that we even teach our children. Don't let people come into your personal space. Okay, now this is going to be a little graphic, and for those of you that are triggered by talking about abuse, then this is just a little warning. Many times, sadly, we can pick up the paper or scroll through social media, turn on the news, and see that there are, multiple children being trafficked and children being kidnapped and abused and unalived. So what we do is we teach our children to watch out for the danger signs of someone coming into their personal space, someone coming too close to you. Set boundaries up around you so that if someone is coming to this child, that they have to sound the alarm by screaming or, getting away, running for help. Okay. Now, not only is this for children, this is also for adults. We have our personal space. There are many people who feel like in order for them to conversate with you, they have to literally be standing within an inch of your face. I mean, you couldn't back up if you could, because all the while that they're talking to you, they're advancing on you. So we have to be careful of the personal space boundaries, the physical boundaries that has to be set up. Now, physical boundaries, they protect your space and body, your right to not be touched, to have privacy, and to meet your physical needs such as resting or eating. When you have physical boundaries, you tell people how close they can get to you. Or what, I'm tired, I'm going in the room, I need some rest. If you say you need a break and you need to rest, you have to set up that boundary to make sure they know. Don't disturb. Do not disturb. I'm tired. I need rest. And you have to make sure that that message comes across. It's all about respecting you, respecting the fact that I need this for me. I need space between you and me for me to feel safe, for me to feel comfortable. So if I say, just back up a little, back up. These are the boundaries that we must set in place for our own physical well-being. Okay? Now, here's another topic of boundaries: sexual boundaries. Okay? Now, this goes to, when you have your significant other, or maybe you're just meeting someone new, you're out on a date, or you have a friend that you've known for a long time, a good close friend that sometimes like to play practical jokes and they think it's funny to touch you in private places and just laugh it off. Sexual boundaries protect your right to consent. No means no. And if you don't want to be touched, if you don't want to be, handled a certain way, if even in the moment of your physical, sexual handling, if it's something that's going on that you don't like, You can say, oh, no, I can't do that. I don't like that. And you have that right. Set up your boundaries to protect your own mental and physical well being. You have the right to say you don't like that. You have the right to say that's enough. You have the right to say not yet, maybe another time. It's important for you to know that the right is yours. Okay, the right, how you want, what you want, when you want it, you have that right. And if they don't like it and they don't want to go along with it, then they can go somewhere else. Just plain cold hard facts. You don't have to take anything that you don't like. Okay, set the boundaries and hold them into place. All right. Another type of boundary is your emotional or mental boundaries. Okay. Emotional and mental boundaries, that protects your right to have your own feelings and thoughts. Okay. You don't have to have your feelings and thoughts criticized and invaded. Okay. You don't have to just have people always want to get inside your head and know what you're thinking. You don't have to have your feelings broadcast out there for everyone to know. Emotional boundaries differentiate your feelings from other people's feelings. So you're accountable for your own feelings, but you're not responsible for how others feel. Okay, just like some others are not responsible for how you feel. Okay. If there's a topic, a discussion going on, and you're not comfortable with it, it makes you feel a certain kind of way, you can say, well, I really don't have anything to say. Those are personal boundaries that you put up and say, I really just don't want to do that. And you have the right to do that. This is all about overcoming personal challenges where you would do it just because you say, well, if I don't go along with it, they'll get angry. If I don't just, participate, they'll think I'm weird, or they may not want to have anything to do with me anymore, or, they may just go around and talk about me when I leave. Understand that you have the right to say yes, and you have the right to say no. And you have to set up these boundaries and hold on to them and not give in to the pressure of outside forces, because they are they, he is he, she is she, and you are you. You have that right to put up your boundaries and make sure that they are protected and respected. Okay. Another type of boundary is spiritual and religious boundaries. Okay. That is very close to my heart. That I pray all throughout the day. And when I'm getting ready to pray, believe me, my family respects my prayer time. All right. They respect it because I'm talking to the Almighty Father. And I know that there are different things going on in the house. And I choose my time when I know that I'm not called to do something. If I said, well, I'm going to cook dinner tonight, when it's time for me to cook, when it's time for the food to get done, I'm not going to just disappear. And everybody's like, well, where is she? She said she was going to cook. And they come, you all right? Is everything okay? I'm praying. No, there's a way to do everything. But we have that right. And if we say every day at about 2:00, y'all okay? Y'all good? I'm going in my room. And if this is a regular pattern, they say, oh, she's in there praying. And that time should always be respected. You set up boundaries to let everyone know that there are things that I need to do for me. And I want you to respect my right to do things that I need and want for myself. Okay? When you feel like you want to go before the Lord, that is your right and it should be respected. on Sunday morning when you get up and all you want to do is get to the house of worship to get together with other like-minded saints of God to lift up and magnify the name of the Lord. And you don't want anyone else to say, well, you know what? I'm not going today because I don't feel like driving, and I really don't think you should go. The weather's bad or it's too cold. So we're just gonna all stay home. Excuse you, pardon, pardon. No, that's not going to happen. You have the right to set up your own schedule to do things to benefit you. You set up those boundaries to say when it comes down to me worshiping the Lord, no one is to interfere with that. And they have to respect it. Okay? You still with me? Great. Now, this next one that I'm talking about is very, very important. Not that the others were not as important, but this here is crucial. Financial and material boundaries. All right? It's important for you to set up boundaries and let people know that the one and only person that should be in control of your finances is you. Okay? If you are of an age where you work and you take care of yourself and you pay your bills and you are, maintaining your life, if you are asked to contribute to something, if someone asks, for assistance, you have that right to say, no, I'm sorry, I can't do it right now. And, I can't right at this moment. You should not feel bad about it. And you should not let someone badger you about it. But you got it. You got the money. It ain't nobody but you, or whatever excuse they can give. You have that right. Okay? You have the right to spend your money as you choose and to not give a loan or, to give any of your possessions away. Oh, look, you got 6 pairs of 6 hats. Let me have one. Look at all the pocketbooks. Let me have one. Girl, look at all that stuff you got. Look at all them earrings. Oh, I like that. You got a whole bunch. You're not going to miss this. Trust and believe. Many people will try to find ways to guilt you into giving them things that they ask for that they see and fancy that belongs to you. But the key word is it belongs to you. And you do not have to part with it if you choose not to. And you should not feel bad about it. If you feel like I don't like lending money because when you lend money, it breaks up a friendship. It breaks up, relationships. Because when you want the money back, if they don't have it, now you feeling kind of bitter towards them, and animosity begins to grow, and you say, I never should have loaned them that money. Because then when you come back for it, it was like, I know I owe you. God, just all on me. Give me a break. When I get it, I'll give it to you, okay? These are some of the responses that people get when they go back and say, well, you said you were going to have it. Okay, well, geez. Here, take it. My God, it does sometimes bring about really, really adverse situations, and you're no longer friends. So if you feel like just to keep everything on the up and up, just to keep everything smooth, I'm not going to lend any money, that is your right. You set up those boundaries and you enforce it. And no matter what anyone says, if they take offense, just pray for them and leave them, because you have that right. This is overcoming your personal shortcomings, overcoming personal challenges. Challenges like, I just don't like to, make people feel bad. I don't like to say no. I don't like to, just deny people. You need to set up boundaries, because if not, you'll become an ATM. Every time you turn around, they will have their hand out for money. And if you are in a habit of always lending, even when you're not getting paid back. That one time where you say, I just can't do it this time, it's going to be very problematic. Oh, it's like that now. Oh, so fine, fine. I guess I have to go get somebody else, so, and then they will begin to look at you in a negative way, which will again make you feel bad. But if you set those boundaries up in the beginning and take into account, if I start down this road, it may be something they're going to want to do regularly. So the best thing for me to do is to not even start. These are the things that we have to consider if we want, everything to stay smooth in our relationship and in our life. Okay. Now, the next thing is time boundaries. Okay. For people that are on the outside and you have certain things that you like to do, and it also goes back to your religion and your spiritual time. When you say, when I get off work, work stays at work. When I come home, I'm with my family. I don't want anybody interfering on my family time. This is, I love my family, and I just want it to be just me and them. And then someone wants to come over and dominate your time. You don't want people to come over wasting your time, inflicting all of their worries and stuff. Of course, there are situations that may arise, emergencies that may come up, and they might need your ear for a minute, but you still have to put a time limit on it and let that boundary stand. Say, well, I'm here with my family, but I can give you 10 minutes, unless it's a life or death situation. You have to go to the hospital or something like that. But, ordinarily it's no, it's just me and my family, or me and my wife or my husband, or, whatever it is that you have set aside to do. If you made plans, those are the plans that you made, and you want to stick to those plans, and you do not have to disregard your plans or cancel your plans because someone else decided that they want or need attention. Something that's not vital, something that's not life or death. You said, man, I just wanted to come and hang out. Well, I can't come in. No, I'm sorry. You can't, because I have plans for the night and I can't make that. I've been planning this for a long time. You do not have to feel bad about that, because you have the right to make you happy. So I want you to keep that in mind. Boundaries are so important. Boundaries keep it so that you don't have to go to the extreme in anything, because you have already set up the perimeter of what you like. You start from the very beginning when you just meet somebody and everything, and you know how you are, and you begin to talk and introduce yourself, and they say, oh yeah, sometimes we get together and we go over, to the bar, and you just say, oh no, I don't drink. What you mean? No, I don't drink. I don't go to bars. When I finish, I go home with my family. You set up those boundaries from the very beginning, and you won't, and make sure you enforce it. And, maybe 2 or 3 months down the line, come on. Oh yeah, we got that raise, or we got that bonus. Come on, we all gonna hang out. No, it's okay. Y'all have a good time. Oh, come on. You're such a stick in the mud. You're such a spoiled sport. And you just walk away, because you have already established what it is you do and do not like. And you have the right to enforce that. Okay? Now, this last one that I'm going to talk about is non-negotiable boundaries. Non-negotiable boundaries are deal breakers, things that you absolutely must have in order to feel safe. They usually pertain to issues such as physical violence, emotional abuse, drug or alcohol use, fidelity, and life-threatening health issues. For instance, if you are, talking to someone and you meet someone new, and you have maybe previously been in an abusive relationship, and you'll tell this person, listen, I like you, I like where this is going, but I'm just going to let you know just a little bit about myself. I do not like verbal confrontation. I don't argue. We are two adults with our own mind and our own experiences in life. And if we don't agree on something, we can agree to disagree. We may talk about it, we can give our opinion, but I'm not going to argue about it. So these are the boundaries that have to be set up in the very beginning, and you have the right to enforce those boundaries. Okay, if it comes to a situation where it affects the welfare of your children, you may say, well, I don't like my children around this type of environment because it's not safe. You have that right to put those boundaries in effect and enforce it. Okay, another thing is like when it comes down to having conversation with your adult children, you can let them know, listen, I am the mother. I will be respected. And you have to put those boundaries into place. And even though you're an adult, I will always respect you, but you are going to not talk to me like I'm your coworker, like I'm your bestie, like I'm your friends, somebody that you hang out with. I am always your mother, and I demand and deserve to be respected. These are boundaries that cannot be relaxed, non-negotiable. No matter what it is that you're going through, always know, whoa, 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 hello. No, I will not be talked to that way. Because everybody has their days. Everybody has their days, and you may get in situations where your temper is a little elevated and your voice follows your temper. And, maybe you were involved in a situation where you are agitated. But when it comes down to having conversation with, certain people, you have to always remember when you're in their presence that, I can't talk to them like that. I will not disrespect them, because of who they are. So we have to keep that in mind. You have to keep in mind, not only do you have to enforce boundaries that you set into place, you must also respect the boundaries that other people put into place. When someone speaks to you and lets you know, these are things that I really don't care for, and you're trying to have a relationship with them, you have to respect their boundaries. It might be something that you're used to doing all the time, but they don't like it. So you want to be in a relationship with them, then you're going to have to compromise. You're going to have to respect them and be fair. Okay, or you can go and have a relationship with someone else. You can be in relationship with someone, when you'll go to a restaurant to eat, and they order something different than you, and you look at their plate, oh my God, that looks good, and you take your fork and stick it in their plate, and they will say, what are you doing? I don't like when people touch my food. What are you talking about? It's just food. What's the problem? No, they already have established that this is something they don't like. You have to respect that. Your response should be, oh my goodness, I'm so sorry. That was very disrespectful of me. Here, I'll order you another plate because I know you probably don't want that one now, which is in their right to do. Okay? So understand this, and this is a biggie. The boundaries that you set in place for your own health and welfare, for your own well-being mentally and physically, you have the right to do that. You have to also respect the boundaries that others put into place. You can't say that I don't like this, I don't like that, but feel that you can do any and everything to other people. That is not the way it goes. And that is overcoming a personal challenge where people feel like they can do whatever they want to others, but no one can do whatever they want to them. Okay, that's a sign of being very immature, and it's just not nice. So these are the things that I want you to keep in mind in order for you to be the best you all around, and you reap what you sow. So if you give out disrespect, you will get back disrespect. And if you respect other people's boundaries, then hopefully, prayerfully, they will respect yours. If not, bring it to their attention. I don't like that, so please don't do it. Okay? So that's where we are today, and I hope that this helped someone, and I hope that you liked it. And if you did, I would greatly appreciate if you would hit that like button, leave a comment, share it to as many people as you can, and if you have not already done so, please subscribe. I appreciate you to the moon and back, and I hope that you have a wonderful remainder of your day. And until we meet again, may the Lord God bless you real good. Boss Lady out.